Have you ever stopped to think about how much power a small act of kindness can have? In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we sometimes forget how meaningful it can be to stop and help others. A simple act of kindness can create a ripple effect that changes not only the life of the recipient, but also the life of the giver. This story shows us how Marco, a boy of just 9, transformed the course of his life and that of his father with an act of compassion. Through everyday challenges and unexpected experiences, we can learn that kindness has extraordinary power. We invite you to stay with us until the end of this video to discover how a seemingly ordinary morning can evolve into an incredible and enriching adventure. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel to continue discovering stories that inspire and move. Get ready to explore a story of courage and generosity that shows how small gestures can make a difference. On a gray and cloudy morning, Marco was about to face his first day of school alone. His father, Corrado, could not accompany him because he had an important job interview. With anxiety in his heart and a note of pride in his eyes, Corrado gave his little boy his last recommendations. "Remember what I taught you, Marco. Get off at the stop I showed you and be careful. We are in a big city, and I want you to be safe." Marco, with the confidence of a small adult, replied, "Don't worry, Dad. I can do it. I'm 9 years old. I'm a big boy now." And so, with a tight hug and a promise to see each other again on the way back, Marco got on the bus. Sitting in a corner, he watched the streets rush by, lost in his childish thoughts. The people around him were immersed in their lives, some reading the newspaper, some absent-mindedly scrolling through their phones. But what seemed like a normal day was about to become something extraordinary. Suddenly, the bus stopped at a crowded station. Among the crowd getting on, a woman caught Marco's attention. She looked anxious, as if she was desperately searching for something or someone. Her eyes, full of worry, reflected the tension of someone facing a difficult day. When it was her turn to pay for the ticket, in a trembling voice, she confessed to the ticket collector that she had no money. The ticket collector, in a bad mood, began to humiliate her in front of everyone, accusing her of being a fraud. The woman, visibly embarrassed, tried to explain that she would pay later, but the ticket collector was implacable, treating her harshly and insulting her in front of the other passengers. Marco, observing the scene, felt a mixture of indignation and compassion. His young age did not prevent him from recognizing an injustice, and driven by a sense of justice and humanity, he rose from his seat. Approaching the ticket collector, with a firm and decisive voice, he said, "Now you can get on the bus," handing over his lunch money. Despite having given up his favorite meal, Marco felt proud of having done the right thing. It was a simple but powerful gesture, which demonstrated how courage and kindness can manifest themselves in the most unexpected ways. After Marco's act of kindness, the atmosphere on the bus changed. The woman, grateful and moved, sat down next to him, thanking him repeatedly. With a smile, Marco handed her a handkerchief to dry her tears, saying simply, "No one should be treated like this." Meanwhile, his father, Corrado, after dropping Marco off at school, faced disappointment. He had not gotten the job he had interviewed for, as he was considered too old for the position despite being only 37 years old. He was worried about the future, fearing he would no longer be able to support Marco after the recent loss of the child's mother. Their life had become a series of challenges, but Corrado had always faced every obstacle with courage and determination. Despite his tiredness and frustration, he always found a way to put his son's well-being first, nurturing the dream of a better future for both of them. That day, Corrado went to Marco's school to discuss the possibility of a scholarship for his son, fearing that he could no longer afford the tuition. During the meeting with the principal, a luxury car pulled up in front of the school. The woman from the bus got out of the car, but this time with a completely different appearance, elegant and confident. Her presence attracted everyone's attention, and with an aura of authority, she asked about Marco. At that moment, we want to know, what would you do in Marco's place? Would you have had the same courage? Leave us a comment below. We are curious to know your opinion. The woman introduced herself to Corrado as Clara. With gratitude and emotion, she told him how Marco had changed her day, and now she wanted to return the favor. Clara revealed her true identity to Corrado. She was the daughter of a well-known car entrepreneur, and the previous morning she had been the victim of a kidnapping attempt from which she had fortunately escaped. Without money or a phone, she had gotten on the first available bus, where she had met Marco. Clara was determined to reciprocate Marco's kindness and offered to cover all the child's school expenses until the end of his studies. Corrado, incredulous and moved, tried to refuse, but Clara insisted firmly. Corrado's tears mixed with joy and gratitude as he accepted the offer that would change his and Marco's lives forever. At that very moment, Marco, who was playing in the schoolyard, joined his father and Clara. He immediately recognized the woman he had helped, and his face lit up with surprise and joy. Clara, to thank him, invited father and son to a cafeteria to offer them that much-desired drink, while promising a brighter future for both of them. As time passed, Clara began to hang out with Corrado and Marco, and a sincere friendship developed between them. Clara discovered that Corrado had interrupted his studies in engineering to take care of Marco after his wife's death. By talking to his father, Clara managed to get Corrado an opportunity to complete his studies and work in their car company. And here the story takes another unexpected turn. As the months passed, Corrado and Clara fell in love, and Marco gained the mother he had always wanted. Together they formed a new family, united not only by love, but also by the recognition that a simple act of kindness can have unimaginable effects. But it doesn't end there. Thanks to his work in the new company, Corrado was able to realize his dream of opening his own engineering firm, while Marco, inspired by his father's example, began to cultivate the dream of becoming an engineer. Together, father and son worked on innovative projects that not only benefited their new family, but also the community. This extraordinary story teaches us that kindness and compassion can transform lives in ways we never imagined. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to our channel. Your participation will help us continue to tell stories that touch the heart and inspire the mind. Remember, a small gesture can really make a difference. Until next time, with another story that will surely leave you speechless and with a lighter heart.